got bubble gum, red and lime green, and this one you can eat, drink.
And we mentioned St. Patrick of New York, who used Vagisil.
Here we are, we're the Gun Cranks, and Tom says he's going to mess with me in the opener. So what are you doing, Tom? What's going on?
Tom, no, I don't want to see that. No.
He is not frozen. He is not frozen. We know he's not.
I'm messing with you by ignoring your question.
Oh, that's
hurts.
Funny.
That's
my
funny.
tactics. That's my tactics today. So.
That's courtroom
it's a good tactic. Yeah. Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome, and thanks for joining us back. We got the full Gun Cranks crew today, and this should be a pretty interesting one because this literally came together in less than 20 minutes. We knew we were coming up against a deadline. We were texting back and forth. If you can see on my desk, normally I try to clean up. It is just packed full of crap, and Roy's got his working gear on, and there's allegedly going around that maybe some of us have, it's after 5 o'clock, let's just say that. So this should be entertaining tonight.
Not quite like shot. Not quite like shot.
Yeah, but we didn't use that one for a specific reason, Mr. Gelhaus. But anyway, hey, last week, if you caught us, it was just Roy and I, because Tom, you were what, in a Turkish prison or a Turkish bath or something?
It was a Turkish bath.
Yeah.
In a Turkish prison.
Hey, don't knock it till you tried it, you know?
Okay. Well,
Do you not care about the environment? I mean, we're conserving water here, so.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
And you know, I always say we're always going off the rails, and we're there already. So let's get to the topic, which is, Tom, are you clean? You're clean, aren't you?
You know, I
Yes.
will point out that Roy and I are the only ones prepared for this episode. For those of you listening on audio, Roy has got a full shop apron on, pocket protectors, pens, pencils. What
The
else
whole
you got
shooting
in
match.
there? Dang. It looks like it weighs about 45 pounds, and I am sitting in front of a bench full of cleaning supplies. So.
Yep.
Did you
So,
want
we're ready.
me to
Bring
reach
it.
down and grab the bag of cleaning stuff? Gun parts, tools?
So the question here today is cleaning, and I recently wrote an insider about that a month or two ago. I can't remember. I think it was 2 months ago. And you know, we've all been shooting long enough. We've kind of gone the full gamut of, for a long time it was, you should clean, but everybody kind of listened to that and then laughed and didn't clean their guns. And then I feel like it changed when law enforcement went to semi-automatics, because semi-automatic handguns do tend to be a little more sensitive to gunk and cheeseburgers and mushrooms and that kind of stuff growing in your gun. So it went, as good Americans, we went completely the other direction, to the point that not only if you didn't clean your gun and if you oiled your gun, you were going to die. It was tantamount to suicide. And now I think we've come a little more full circle that, yeah, you need to keep your gun clean, but it's maybe more important to keep them lubricated. As they say, they'll run dirty, but they won't run dry. So I think that's the kind of the state of the art, the state of the industry now. But let's throw it open to the gun cranks. What do you, Tom, I'll start with you. I mean, how clean do you keep your cleaners?
Mr. Clean. No, but seriously, you know what? I'm lazy sometimes, and I'm not lazy other times. And the way that I define those times is if it's a carry gun, kind of one or two of those are, maybe two or three in a regular rotation, those stay clean. You know what? You get a lot of pocket lint and stuff, even if you don't carry in a pocket. You know, stuff accumulates. You get all kinds of gunk in the hammer area and the trigger guard and all over the place.
And you appendix carry guys get belly button hair in it, I'll bet.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
I'm glad you said belly button hair.
That's
okay.
a danger that no one ever anticipated. So.
Pasty skin flakes and fur.
But those I clean a lot. I generally give those a cleaning after every range outing.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been in a situation where you were humiliated because your gun was dirty? I have, publicly.
The police academy or basic training, which one would you prefer?
No, actually worse than that. It was famed trainer Pat Rogers, and he was actually here. And for those that know Pat, he could weave a verbal tapestry of profanity like no one's business. And I was on duty. I stopped by. I marked out, with the rest of the guys and said, I'm going to be out at the range for a little while. Just say hi to Pat and kind of check in. And we were talking, and we were carrying Glocks at that point, and he looked down and goes, your gun is filthy, you ab, and all the big words. And he said it loud enough everybody could hear it. And the thing was, he was right. And it had been really rainy, and just between rain and humidity, and I hadn't cleaned it in a while. It was kind of a bad time in my life, and I wasn't paying as much attention to my gear as I should have. And it humiliated me. And I can say I've never, ever let things get to that point again. So Pat Rogers, who is someplace up or down or who knows, but
that looked like
he
a
broke
moose
me
cock
like,
when you did that.
Did you? Yeah, I was gonna say, did you get a patch? For the
yes, I did get a patch.
You did get a
but
patch.
Not for,
I'm a proud patch owner myself.
I am too.
Because I took a class with Pat. Not everybody gets a patch.
No, you have to earn it.
Really bad.
You have to earn it.
You have to earn it and make a complete ass of yourself in some unplanned way, and you will be awarded a patch.
So
with lots of profanity attached to it.
So that was my embarrassing cleaning story, and I'll just kind of sit back and slink my head down and throw it out to you guys.
So you have the Army where in basic training, and I imagine the Marines are the same way, you're cleaning weapons to within an inch of their lives just for the purpose of cleaning weapons, right? And then you go to the police academy, and if you go through in the stainless steel revolver era like I did, you're running dry cleaning bags through the barrel before inspections just to try to mask anything that didn't get pulled out with the Lewis lead remover, while you're taking the stainless steel toothbrush and rubbing off anything on the face of the cylinder, right? And then you become an armorer and you start seeing what your coworkers do to guns. And Larry Vickers' comment about if you treat your gun like a lawnmower, you probably should carry a Glock. Oh dear God. I saw one pistol. I think it was lithium grease. I'm not sure. But it looked like a male whale had had an emotional experience with the inside of the gun. Everything was white and flaky. We couldn't really make the gun work till we beat it apart, and that was all there. No time out.
We need a producer.
We're done. We're done.
I didn't say out.
Thanks for joining Gun Cranks. We're done.
Then we had one of our contract cities that went out and bought their own ARs. I'm like, that's pretty cool. When did you guys get the stainless steel or nickel-plated bolt carriers with them? Because somebody there decided that was like carbon residue on the bolt carriers, so they took them to a wire wheel.
Wow.
And took off all the finish down to bare metal.
That's some serious cleaning. Hey, Roy, save us. Tell another story.
What is there left to save? I'm gonna go on record here.
We've covered sea mammals already, so
I know I've been reeling in dismay over here. But let's ground this back to the people who we're probably talking about here, which is not the hardcore cops, not the tactards, not the the military guys and stuff like that. The average sort of Sam and Susie homemaker, and I think they fall into two categories. They either don't clean enough, or they clean way too much.
Yep.
And I've seen more damage done to guns by cleaning and detail stripping. Because whenever we would run an article in American Handgunner about cleaning your guns, right? It was always followed up with a flurry of emails and reader mail saying, if I shoot one round through my gun, I completely detail strip it down to the last pin and completely clean everything. And then those are usually the people who also failed to lube them enough. You only need one drop of oil on the slide on any auto pistol.
Yeah.
And don't you forget it. But then there's the other people where they've come to my shop here and they say, hey, my gun doesn't work. You think you could help me? And I say, sure, okay. And they usually reach into behind their back somewhere and they pull out this gun from a 27-year-old, completely worn out leather holster. And usually what I do then is keep a can of that spray air, and I go, and you like the clouds of the dust bunnies and the old skin flakes and come off of it, and almost always if you give it a decent clean and lube it gets back to work. And so I think that it's somewhere in between. And Tom, I agree with you completely. My concealed carry guns, my personal protection guns are cleaned and well lubed. Lubed more than they probably have to be, because I'd rather be safe than sorry kind of a situation. But my fun guns, I basically clean them when they stop working. And I mean, I wipe them off, but put them away. And then every once in a while, if you think about it, you rack the slide open, squirt a little oil down inside of it, run the slide a few times, wipe it off, put it back in the safe. But yeah, if you're concealed carry kind of a person, and I do something else that a lot of people don't do, and I've seen them flee with their hair on fire as they rend their clothing in terror, is that if I shoot my gun, clean it, and it's my concealed carry gun, I will load the magazine and put a few rounds through it, just like 2 or 3 or 4 rounds, and then top off the mag and put it back in and leave it like that. And they go, wait, what's dirty now? You have to clean it again. It's like, no, actually, I know it's going to work.
Yep.
That's a great point, because people forget that every time you strip that gun and clean it, you're introducing the possibility of human error in how you reassembled it. It's a great point.
And people do, recoil springs get put in backwards. It's absolutely astounding the number of times that I've seen that, where you go to take their gun apart and you go, well, other than this is in backwards, you did pretty good. And the other thing I'd like to talk about, the 2 most important cleaning tools that should be on everyone's workbench. And that is paper towels and Q-tips.
Yes.
And don't you forget it. Because, it's like paper towels are cheap, okay? And so get a clean paper towel and take your gun apart and wipe it all off when you're going to clean it. Get all the mud and gunk and most of the crap out of it, and then clean your gun. And use Q-tips. Like, I use 50 Q-tips if I'm cleaning a pistol. Why not? It's they're almost free. Just every little nook and cranny, the slide rails, everything. You just use Q-tips. And you can use the Q-tips to put the oil back on the gun, too. But otherwise, people use rags. And it's like, rags are like this, religious icon that you're never allowed to throw away. And, they get this grungy, disgusting, oil-soaked boogers on it gun or rag. And
it's
I've
marinated.
Seen it. It is.
Come on.
And they'll
I've got
unwrap,
some of those rags. I'm starting to take offense.
They'll unwrap their gun and, here's my really cool gun. And it's just like this rag. It's like, get that out of my garage, Yeah. And so just splurge and buy 85 cents of, paper towels and use them.
So you're now a shill for Q-tips and Bounty. Great.
You can
come in. Bring the letters, folks.
The Q-tip industry got
millions
to you.
I will leave my bank information for those 2
You're
companies.
You're a paid influencer for the paper towel industry.
No, I'm an influencer for the paper towel industry. Yeah.
Or I can't even think of the word. The divest industry is now going to find out that Q-tips and paper towels are used for guns, and they'll be banned.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, they are.
Or regulated.
Q-tips,
you got to show your license to buy
Sorry,
Q-tips.
Q-tips.
Kleenex 2. Yeah.
Yep. But we would welcome you as an advertiser in Guns and American Handgunner magazine.
And AmericanCop.com.
And AmericanCop.com. Sorry,
I
forgot about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if a company comes out, like, I don't want to name any names, but some company that makes gun cleaning gear or something like that, and just like Q-tips, like you buy 99 cents for 5,000 of them, only they're like tactical operator.
Tac tips.
Tac tips.
Oh, now you better patent that now.
Oh,
Tac
I
tips.
already did. It's all patented. It's
And you have to make them make the little middle part black. And then so it's
camo.
tac tips.
Digital
Because you don't
camo.
want to have the moonlight glint on them in case you're in an operation at nighttime.
Well, you might be cleaning in the field, while you're in a sniper hide somewhere. You never know.
Urban gray and flat dark earth cotton.
Oh, there you go. Flat dark. You know what? Okay. Mark my word. Someone is going to
We're
hear
going to
this.
see it at SHOT Show
and
next
they're
year.
going to come out with flat dark earth cleaning gear, and it's going to be rags and Q-tips and.
Well, we're going to sue the crap out of them because that
Because it
idea,
was
it's on
us.
video.
It was us.
That idea was right here.
I'll tell you something interesting. I did a how to clean your auto pistol video like 10 years ago, and we posted it, and it's got like 1 million views.
Yep.
I mean, people are interested. They want to
There you
learn.
go.
But the thing that I found most interesting is that, because we still get comments, I still answer comments, and they're funny because they go, 10 years later, you're still listening? It's like, I have no life, right? But it's interesting because the comments are in 2 categories. Number one is, I'm going to go to hell and die a slow death because I didn't clean it well enough. And God forbid, I put the brass cleaning, brush in and then pulled it back before I let it go all the way out, right? Because that will destroy my steel barrel. And I try to go like this. Brass, it won't hurt the steel barrel,
In a Glock.
It can explode.
It could explode. But so there are that
Yeah.
crowd, and then there's the other people who say, wow, I can see now that I've been spending way too much cleaning my guns. I'm going to go back. I'm going to have more fun with my guns because now I won't mind shooting them,
Absolutely.
And so I think that's the lesson. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant there.
It was
No,
more
I
like a
think
lecture. So
Yeah. But I think we're all kind of at the same point there. Keep your carry gun reasonably clean, but it doesn't have to be germ-free. Run a few rounds through it, make sure it operates. And your other guns, keep them wet and they run, That
And
applies to a lot of things in life.
If you get little splatters on your face after you shoot your auto pistol, you're doing good. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
And now let me address.
you and Eric need to get your own show.
Well, let me address.
Because there is a setting on YouTube. There's a 13 and up. This
We're in the
video
13
is
and
not
under.
intended for children. So
That's true. I forgot.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But look, we need to address the elephant in the room, which is, what's the best lubricant for my gun?
Okay. With that,
Well, you gotta
we're
go
done
by
with this
flavor.
episode of the Gun Cranks.
color and flavor are the 2 best criteria. I mean,
What did I
I
get?
can't believe it's not butter myself because it's cheap and I can get it at the grocery store. But
What did I get free
think
at
you
SHOT?
did- Yeah, it's whatever you get free. I mean, I've tried them all. 3-in-1 oil, used motor oil. I tried them all. I mean, maybe if you're going to the Arctic and you have to do, maybe, you need something. But other than that, Tom, I think you actually really used some, I can't believe it's butter or something, didn't you?
I did. I wrote an article on that. Yeah.
And it worked, right?
I might have been teasing the gun lube industry a little bit because there really are. I mean, you got bubblegum red and lime green, and this one you can eat and drink, and it smells delicious. Like, come on.
And it saves
It's
the
grease.
planet.
It's grease.
And we mentioned
oil,
St.
whatever you want to call it.
And we mentioned St. Patrick of New York, who used Vagisil.
And
Okay. A
that
quick
ends the
story.
Gun Cranks for today.
Quick story. I got a reader mail after that article on trying I can't believe it's not butter. Because I said, I bet you I could secretly substitute most everyone's gun lube with I can't believe it's not butter. And for the amount they shoot it, they probably never know the difference, right? And I had a guy said, you know what? We got to the range and we were having problems. Gun was dry, blah, 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 wasn't working. And he said, and I remembered I had sunscreen in my car.
Oh,
So he
that
would lube
probably
them up with
worked.
sunscreen. He said it worked like a champ. And then he said, the funny part, he said, but then I realized I had 5 quarts of high temp grade motor oil in the same car sitting right there, And I kind of was like, Yep.
I like
There you
that,
go.
though, because if it's coconut, then your gun would smell like the beach.
No, the range smelled delicious.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Here's a little tip. You've also probably got an automatic transmission and a little off the dipstick. That's actually a really good lube. So anyway, we've gone long, guys. We need to wrap this thing up. And I'm so proud of you, other than Eric, that we kept it pretty clean when we were talking about lubrication. So I'm not sure what will actually make it into this episode. We've got a new editor, Joe. Thank you very much. Behind the scenes, and he's going to be tearing his hair out after he sees this one. So let me just assure you that maybe we need a Patreon account so that you can get the unedited version of the Gun Cranks. But anyway.
Or so
Now, knowing Joe, we're going to see a lot of short
job.
excerpts out of this one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Onlyfriends.com/guncranks.
There you go. Well, before we get out of here, remember, check out AmericanCop.com, GunsMagazine.com, AmericanHandgunner.com. You can listen to the Gun Cranks audio podcast on all the podcast directories, and of course, the Guns Magazine podcast at those same directories and at both our websites. Plus, we have special editions. And what's the current one, Tom?
The current one is a surplus edition, just coming
excellent.
out. So,
And
yeah, man, great stuff.
we've also-
lots of cool stories.
And I believe we got the Smith & Wesson special edition that was kind of truly a special that they put together, and we've sold a bunch of those. So you can check that out on Amazon and on our website. So anyway, gentlemen, it's been entertaining for sure of this episode of the Gun Cranks. So on behalf of Erick Gelhaus, who is the editor at AmericanCop.com, Tom McHale, who's the editor at American Handgunner, AmericanHandgunner.com, and Roy Huntington, our special assignments editor. I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat. We'll see you, hopefully, next episode.